We are a week out from this earlobe repair, and the reason we're filming earlobe repair, and you think, well, this is a really stupid video to shoot because earlobe repairs are pretty easy. Well, that's what I thought until about a few months ago when I'm a reviewer for a journal, and I can't actually even tell you which journal it is because everything is under an embargo until it's actually printed. But I don't want to take credit for this idea, but this idea of this gentleman who created an earlobe type of repair, I immediately accepted the paper for publication because I thought it was literally one of the most brilliant ideas ever. And it's just a simple flap reconstruction here, which helps mitigate or minimize four major problems that can occur with an earlobe repair. Let's go through what this modification of technique does through this very simple change. First is that when you just sort of cut through this area and you close it together, the skin-to-skin approximation a week sometimes falls apart. And my patient actually asked me a question when I was taking the sutures out. She said, how do you know the wound is well healed? And unfortunately, sometimes in the earlobe repair, it doesn't heal well after a week. And there's a little bit of clefting that occurs where the line begins to separate. And over time, it begins to invaginate inward. And you can almost see a linear defect there. The way that this kind of flap repair has been performed actually allows much more tissue approximation, and approximations in medical speak for touching together. So there's more surface-to-surface contact, which helps minimize a few things. One is that it allows the wound to be much stronger and heal better. And that's going to also help when we make the hole in about 3 months from now so that doesn't re-tear. The second thing it does is it helps minimize the chance of the area right here actually, as I said, becoming linear in defect and falling inward. And it's such a simple, beautiful little repair. The other thing that it does is it actually takes a little of the redundant tissue away, and it brings the earlobe up toward a nicer, rounder configuration. Because what happens with an ear ring over time is not only does it just split it, but it also drags the lobe down. It stretches it out, almost like some of the African tribes where you have a lengthening effect. And so a slight degree of shortening brings the ear back into a rounder configuration that matches the other side. So another really small change that makes such a dramatic difference that is really beautiful. The other thing that you really worry about is something called notching, and notching means that at the base of the ear that this thing can actually also invaginate or move upward and create a little inversion. The traditional technique to actually manage that is a Z-plasty. Problem with Z-plasties is several-fold. One, they're a messy affair to try to get those areas closed and well approximated so they don't look like little wings that stick out. Second of all, it's a messy closure, and I really, there's a higher liability of that not looking perfectly round. With the sort of key step type approach in this article that with this closure, it allows the same effect of a Z-plasty, but much more assured and much more expedient, and in my opinion, much safer overall. So all these little tiny things, wound strength, risk of linear invagination of the front end, better wound healing, as well as avoidance of inversion or invagination of the base without having to do a Z-plasty, simply takes this small procedure into a level of technical precision, safety, and art form that I think is, in my opinion, profound, and has taken a procedure that I, be honest with you, didn't even enjoy doing to one that I actually sort of really enjoy doing. So hopefully that's a good explanation of this modification and what the advantages it has to offer.